and how this can change in the online way. Okay, so it's a basic question. But I put two key figures. I know you mentioned John Bates as one of the leading figures in the modern history of online discussion. But if we go back, and then we go back to the early of the century, we have people like, have you ever heard the name Lev Vygotsky? Any of you? Social construction. The key, I'm not going to talk about his theory. One thing, the key idea behind his theory is that learning from each other makes you learn in a better way, makes you reach a level of understanding higher than yours in a faster way. He had something that called the zone of proximal development. His idea was put a child of 6 years old and a child of 9 years old to work together on the same task, and the 9-year-old child has already developed an understanding, will help the 5-year-old child through the interaction to achieve it. In the same way, put in an online discussion like Brad suggested, and it was actually evident in his diagram, a tutor and a student in a linear process, and they cannot escape this linear process, they will just stick with one question and answer, or mix them together, allow them to form their own groups and work together, and that will take them further. On the top of that, another key figure, I don't know if you heard ever of a psychotherapist, Carl Rogers. In 1961, this guy, you can go on YouTube, he has actually an interview because he died at the late 80s, so there's actually YouTube about him talking about his theories. He wrote a book, and he called it Freedom to Learn, and the subtitle, title under What Education May Become. His main idea was forget anything you know about teaching in a didactic way. You need to start thinking as a psychotherapist. It's a bit weird idea, but this is how he believed. That the only way to help your students learn is to empathize with them. The only way to help your students move and feel confident and comfortable in moving forward with their learning is you have to become a follow learner. You will be the person who will listen, the person who will react, not the person who will lead. So I use these two theories in order to develop my own understanding through a study. 4 moderators in 3 different universities in the United Kingdom, working over 1 semester, okay, with different groups of students from different nationalities, and that's important, especially in the Chinese Confucian heritage, because it makes a lot of difference in the way that we see discussions, and I'm going to show you something. I gave my moderators a digital recorder, my tutors a digital recorder, like a little one that you can record, and I told them, go home, connect to whatever you think you're going to be doing. I want you to reflect aloud, think aloud of what you're doing. My main idea was, what are the processes by which you move away from being a teacher to being a facilitator? And if this process happens in an easy way, in a natural way, or the universities as we know them now, and the structure of the universities, puts a strict barrier around this process, which unfortunately was the outcome of that, as you would imagine.